everybody. Welcome to Us Against the Gods. Eowyn will be out today. They are not feeling well. They will be back next week, hopefully. They are under the weather and unable to make it today. Best wishes to them. Couple things before we do get started, though. But if you know someone who wants to play a G-Merit game, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about getting on the wait list for a campaign slot or getting into a one-shot. Speaking of one-shots, I have a Dark Frost playtest currently coming up. That's going to be happening on April 6th. That playtest is available over at gameric.com in the store under the one-shot section, so go check that out. It's really, really cool. We are doing an adventure series called Dark Frost. It's really brutal, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We also announced that over on Patreon first yesterday, and the Patreon's live over at patreon.com/gmeric, and 2 of those tickets already sold because of the Patreon members picking them up. So check out the Patreon. We do a lot of fun stuff on there. We also have the GM tip videos, archives, and now podcasts over on YouTube. So if you just want to listen to sessions while doing your day, going to the gym, etc., check out those podcasts. We also have the clip contest going on. So if there's a moment from a session that you like, toss the clip or timestamp into the Discord channel. You'd be automatically entered to win this half-pound D20 that is amazing. This was made by one of our players by the name of Nero. This was amazing. This is going to be the prize for the March clip contest. Lastly, we have the Toivoa RPG website where we have reference information about all sorts of stuff in the Toivoa campaign setting. There are hundreds upon hundreds of articles for you guys to check out over there. Let's go ahead and get you guys started because you guys can play some D&D, and we're going to be returning to the main storyline today, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, after we got through the Kobayashi Maru last week.
Well, I don't know about that. The storyline said that everyone was going to die. So, well, last week we TPK'd, which is awesome. If you want to go and relive that, the podcast is available over on YouTube. So, you guys are adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. You started off way up here in Nausea, have made your way all over Toivoa in an effort to make friends, gain power, try to rescue a friend, get married and solve a criminal status, and have now come to Shatter Shaddai down here in an effort to get political power so that you guys have standing when you choose to approach the Lady of Shadows in Ochakwuk. To that end, you've come to Shatter Shaddai to try to find an audience with the Sultan. Over the past several sessions, you've managed to ingratiate yourselves to several of the Batim, the ruling magocracy here in Shatter Shaddai. The last session, we had you guys go and deal with the possessed form of Nafis, as Neve Dorcadis had taken over, temporarily, the body of the Batim member in the Pyromancer, and then you visited the Mirror Mage, known as Idris. He sent you off to get supplies, etc., after having asked for a bit of a favor to send you off to Jna-Kuhej to investigate what Vagranim might be doing there. So, as you guys have just had your evening, we ended as the sun was about to set. What would you guys like to do? Would you like to go to the Ebon Pearl in order to sleep? Or what would you like to do?
Personally, I would like to go back to the Pearl just because, I have some business to attend to.
Really?
I'm interested.
All right. So we return to the Ebon Pearl.
Riley's getting his hopes up.
They're gonna be dashed.
Okay. As you guys go inside to the lobby and subsequently up to your suite, you return to the bedroom, or do you want to be out in the suite proper Miss Covet?
I
Which
need
place
where
do you prefer to dash Twilight's hopes?
I love you very, very much, but I need to go talk to my patron. And she runs to the bedroom, closes the door, and locks it.
All right, off we go.
Poor
And
Twilight.
slowly unlocks it so she doesn't get in trouble later.
Uh-huh. All right. So, as you lock and unlock the door, what would you like to do?
I need to contact Leslie.
Okay.
And I need to talk to her.
So, do you contact her?
Yes.
All right. As you call for Leslie. Oh, one moment. Oh, thank
That's
you.
not terrifying. That's not terrifying.
Thank you. You can go now. Yes, Covet. I'm sorry, I had to get dressed. And if she's blurry, just zoom back
Sorry,
out and back
it
in.
was busy. Sorry to
Interrupt?
yeah, that's totally the word.
No, no interruptions necessary. Business was concluded. At least the important part of it.
So
Yes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to the chase. I know you talked to Tyro.
Yes. Hence the distraction that I was performing.
Yeah. Trust me, I am not thrilled about all of this at all. So I figured I'd go ahead and deal with it.
Deal with it? What exactly are we dealing with, Covet? I have to be very cautious when we use that word.
Some information was released about you to him that obviously should not have been released. But I did this with the best of intentions and was trying to keep him from making a very big mistake.
Are you saying that you're sorry?
An elf would never say she's sorry.
Apology accepted.
In the information that was released, I did find out who also used my likeness.
Really? Whose soul should we be flaying from their skin?
Neve?
Oh.
Yeah. When I found out it took Twilight, Matilda, and Lucy pretty much a few people to keep me from digging soul render into her chest.
Well, I can't deny that it's a enticing thought to feel her soul being torn from her body, her lifeless form laying on the ground, shriveled and quivering. But at the same time, paperwork.
She'd come right back, wouldn't she?
Yes, and have an even worse attitude than already. She'd view it as a betrayal, and then it's just drama, drama.
Well,
Thank you for making the right decision and not ending a associate's pathetic existence. What's she up to now?
she's married, recently widowed, ish.
In that order.
Yeah, from what I understand, yes. Married, recently widowed, to a person of the Batin named Nafis.
Oh, well, now that's interesting. That could be useful. Perhaps I need to get in touch with my old friend, Neve.
Well, I will say this though. She is not high on my list, obviously. Because not only did she use my likeness and that of my friends, which I would love to find out how she found out what I looked like or anything like that, considering I've never met her.
Neve is resourceful. If anything else can be said about her other than her flirtatious ways, the woman is one of the most resourceful people I've ever met. Short of that husband of yours.
Well, we did find out that Nafis, the alive one.
I'm sorry. I thought she was widowed.
Oh, she is. But she's doing something that I'm not thrilled at, and I know you're not going to be, but I can't fix it because then I'm stuck with the title of murderer.
What is she doing? Of it.
Well,
Be
apparently,
plain.
Nafis had made a deal with a fiend.
Oh dear.
And yeah, she and the group that she's with defeated him, and his soul is now in a jar, and she's parading around as him alive to get all the paperwork done.
Oh, this is great.
Oh yeah.
Covet, you have so much power at your disposal and your fingertips. You're doing quite well. This was well orchestrated.
Well, so
Good job.
that being said, she has given us approval by Nafis to see the Sultan. One of the 12.
I don't see any problems with this at all. What's your concern, Covet?
My concern is Neve herself.
Oh. She appears to have finally done something right.
Well, in words that are not far from your own for now. Do I trust her?
Oh, no.
Hells no.
No.
Hells no.
No. Never trust Neve Durcatus except to be herself.
But when it comes to Tyro, the only reason why I told him was because there was so many questions. There was the seal is now in the Temple of MKO.
Well, that's a good place for it.
Yep.
How is little
But it had
Sticky
been
Beak
placed-
anyway?
He is doing okay. I just am afraid that he is over his head.
Well, of course he is. I'm curious what he's going to discover. You see, I lost track of him.
Lost track of him.
Yes. A couple of hours ago, he went into some kind of store in Shatter Shaddai and never came out.
What store?
The Mystic Quill is what the sign on the outside said.
Oh no.
I'm sure that Matilda will find him. After all,
Yes.
she went in with him.
Matilda?
Indeed.
Oh my. I'm
That's what I was saying when I was working on stress relief.
certain they're getting that too.
So, is that your wonderful husband?
Kevin, you okay in there?
Yeah. Did you speaking of husbands, so my husband has this very interesting bow,
Yes.
and apparently it's made out of the same celestial bone as Neve's sickle.
Interesting.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I haven't been able to really
Celestials
sit down
are
and-
creatures to be used.
but
If
it's the Hollow Star.
even better. Your husband, I'm sure, is quite proficient with the bone.
She smiles and says, well, that being said, though, it's the Hollow Star. Is there anything I should worry about with this kind of thing? I don't want him
Oh
losing
no, the
himself.
Celestial's dead. Sure, it was corrupted, but redemption is a thing that happens. But sometimes evil tools can be used for good. Like Neve Dorcatus. And Covet.
Well-
Naughty thoughts. I saw the look on your face. I'm not evil. I'm just portrayed that way.
Does she know any rabbits?
He knows one named Roger. So, Covet, I think that husband of yours is seeking to play a little bit of patty cake.
Oh, I know he is.
Kevin?
Hold on.
Well, like, she's taking a long time in there.
Yes, she is. I'm gonna have to start lockpicking the door.
Okay, Twilight, please roll your sleight of hand check to lockpick the door.
Please roll terribly. Please roll terribly. Damn.
Twilight, as you stick your lockpicks in the door, You feel the lock click successfully. The door is now locked.
Twilight grumbles and then does it again.
Covet looks at Leslie and says, I knew he'd do that. So I guess we better finish up. Any tasks that you need me to handle besides what's about to come through that door?
Well, handle him, obviously. After all, I want you to be happy, Covet.
Oh, I did have one more question.
Yes.
Thalia Neverwhirl.
Yes.
Yes.
I know she's from Ashelion. Was she cast out, or did she leave of her own accord?
As far as I know, she regularly makes appearances.
Interesting. At court?
Of course. After all, she still believes that she has influence. We don't want to tip our hand too quickly, Covet, but it'll be a pleasant surprise to strip her power from her without her even knowing, and then expose her for being completely impotent in the eyes of all the rest of the Fae. Won't it? After all, that's what your husband wants. He wants to regain power over the Shintara Grove, to control it himself. That's her power base.
Covet cocks her head to the side in thought and knows that what she says is true. Most of this is going to be political and a lot of work ahead.
Indeed. And remember, the true goal, at least mine, maybe not your husband's, but my goal is to close the portals between the material plane and the Fey realms, to stop the leaking of the two together. I will protect the material plane from the Fey realms.
Those goals are one and the same to us. We definitely want to close all of those portals. We definitely want to have the planes where they belong. Just getting the political clout to help is always...
How is your relationship with Ayla Taylor?
Well, obviously not as close as it is to Winkle. But I mean,
perhaps you should take the bull by the horns and use him to gain favor with her.
I am finding that she knows much more to this city than we thought.
Excellent. Then maybe a light touch is needed.
She hasn't been very forthcoming, though. It's, oh yeah, I've heard about this person. Blah, 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 blah. We should avoid them at all costs after we're heading towards their house.
Of it. Are you feeling jealous of her knowledge and connections? It's not like you're being much more forthcoming either. You haven't told her about your friends in Ashelion. This is her domain. You're simply a visitor.
You are not wrong. But how much of Ashelion do I really remember? It's been a long time.
I'm sure it'll come back to you when you visit. Just like things are coming back to Ayla.
Yeah. Let's just...
For those who cannot see the webcams, Ayla's like,
let's just pray. Let's just hope that some of these knock it off. Let's just hope that some of these memories come back a little bit more quickly, because now that technically I've got nothing to fear is good, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that the future can't come back and haunt me.
Oh, we'll handle the future. Remember what they say, the old Orbonian saying. Let yesterday and tomorrow worry about themselves, for today has enough worries as it is.
Right. All right, well, thank you, Leslie, and I hope that you find the stress relief you so desperately need.
Oh, I did. And they were sufficient.
Not excellent? Disappointing.
Sufficient is enough. Sometimes you don't want to overdo it and get distracted from what's important.
She looks back at the door. Speaking of distractions, I better go.
Are you going to be playing a game of chess with him like I was?
Probably something a little bit more patty cakey.
Oh, or
Wizard's
cheesy.
chess.
Checkers?
Understood.
Twister. Twister.
Ah. Well, have fun with Twister and your husband. Always found that Twister is better with 3. After all, someone has to spin the dial.
That's part of the fun, figuring out how limber you can be.
I'll have to take your word for it and try it in the future.
Have a good evening.
Of course. Good night, Covet. I'll be watching.
Leslie leaves. Leslie leaves, and Covet says, I'm sure I screwed up royally.
At this point, Covet, Twilight, you gain access to the room. Do you come dashingly handsome in at the words that are lingering on Covet's ears of, I'll be watching?
He opens the door and goes, hello there.
Twinkle is in the background going, Twilight, Twilight.
What a wingman. Sorry, Antler Man.
Wow. So not as much shit as I thought it was. So that's good. Now I need to relax.
I'm sure I can come up.
I'm sure. Close the door.
As the door closes, Twilight, you are left alone with Covet von Sin. Twilight.
But are we, though?
You look around, Twilight, you don't see anyone else. This is the first time you've been alone with Covet today.
Well, she did say she needed to relax.
Out the window, you see a beautiful sunset, Twilight. The witching hour is upon you. There's no moment in this day, Twilight, that you'll look any better
And of course, he provides an distraction for his wife.
Understood. Covet, as he goes to the window and the perfect sunlight catches his hair, his glistening skin in the dimming lights, his eyes shine with the fire of the sun. All that's missing is the music. And
She looks
that's when you
around.
watch his toe begin to tap. As we fade to black upon Covet and Twilight,
That's when a seagull comes and parks on the edge and starts.
Something about sweet mysteries of life.
oh man. So, as we allow the romantic couple to do their thing, we're going to check in on our friend Eowyn, who is currently flopped down in a chair, sleeping, snoring slightly, and every time they do so, little sparks come out of their nose. Islaren, what are you up to?
I'm going to let Ayla and Winkle know. I think I should visit the ship briefly.
Yeah, I agree. You probably need to go check on Ramos.
Do you need us to follow you?
Should be safe. I won't say no, but if you have other business to attend to, I believe the gravest of threats, or at least the most immediate of them, seems to be dealt with.
I'll follow you over to the ship. Then I may come back, but I'll follow you over to make sure you're safe.
Right?
Cool.
Ayla's going to stay here. She's begun work on her cookbook, so she's going to work on that.
Understood. So, Winkle and Islaren will leave the Eben Pearl and head out into Shatter Shaddai towards the harbor. It takes you the better part of an hour and a half to walk in that direction. So it will be dark by the time you arrive. As you come up to the ship is lit up with lanterns. You can see the Fantastic Four are on patrol as you come up to the ship, and the guards around it stop you as you approach. They check your identity and allow you on board the ship. When you do approach, you do feel the magic of your equipment disappear for a time being, as the anti-magic field that these guards are emanating would strip any illusion off of you. You may feel a sense of relief once you get past them and onto the ship proper. Come onto the ship.
I do, and I'll acknowledge each of the Fantastic Four as I see them, but it's straight for Rolmos.
Head straight for Rolmos. Very well.
Aww.
As you come on board and into the captain's quarters, and with that blurry, that real quick. As you go for Rolmos, he's in the captain's quarters, where you expect him to be. He looks up at you as you come in and stands. Is everything well?
Yes. Well, not everything, but enough things.
What happened? And he will pull out a chair for you.
Lauren will lower her voice and
Where are the rest?
explain. They're at a hotel. There's no emergency.
Oh. I don't trust these mages. They're not like ours.
Finds that trust is hard to come by in this city.
Refreshing enigmas and dramas of the Protectorate. Am I right?
They are more knowable.
He begins pouring you a glass of wine.
I'll toast him.
Over a fire?
With the glass of wine.
With a glass of wine. Understood. You will chink chink and take a sip of wine. Not enough to really be a lot, but just enough to get the taste. He savors it before swallowing. So, my dear wife, tell me, how goes it overall?
It goes slowly but surely, although there's been a complication with one of the Butt team in particular.
I'm listening.
He is the one who is responsible for the predicament that Covet was in, and he is no longer in control of his own body.
That's problematic. Is it? I'm unsure.
It is.
How
We
would you
know
like me
who
to
is-
react to this?
I honestly don't know. It is.
I could put on a show of outrage if that would ease your mind.
No. It's one of those things where it would be very difficult for someone to believe if it were told to them if they did not see what had happened.
I
The
He stops mid-sentence and just nods.
the perhaps shortest version is that after he stole the seal, it was in turn stolen from him by someone who is not necessarily opposed to us, but I'm not certain that they operate on the side of good. And she is the one who subsequently stole his body. Although he did make deals with fiends, so
Ah. So it's complicated.
indeed.
He will
Oh,
offer you a pillow for your feet as he moves a small ottoman into position.
so the dilemma. Well, I don't really think it is much of a dilemma. I think I know what I want to do. I just don't know if everyone else will agree with me about it. Because, first of all, this member of the Butt team who consorted with fiends to weaken the city certainly deserves whatever punishment the city would mete out.
Are you going to report the situation? as he will pull up a second ottoman and sit right next to your feet, keeping his hands on his lap.
I think we should. And I think we should report that he's not in control of his own body. I think we should report everything that happened. I'm not sure that everyone else agrees that we should reveal that aspect of it.
Is that wise considering our political status? After all,
It's their
we don't know if this is a natural thing that happens within this city.
that's all the more worry, but I imagine the backstabbing and the power games are known to them. I can't imagine that the rest of the Bat team would be comfortable with a shapeshifter or a body thief in their midst.
He nods. But is it our place to reveal that we know this knowledge, or should we provide it anonymously somehow? I don't know the answers to this, but if I were a member of the ruling council and an ambassador informed me that someone was possessed, I would suspect them of foul play. Cloak and dagger, etc.
Reporting it anonymously may be a good tactic then.
See,
I like that idea.
your husband can be not only dashingly handsome, considerate, and a great ship's captain, but occasionally have good ideas too. He smiles a winning smile at you.
I would have settled for nothing less than a man with a strong heart and a strong mind. And a strong body.
He smiles at you, and you watch as involuntarily his chest swells with pride and a little bit of a muscle flex.
I also had a couple of reports that I wanted to convey to the tribunal.
Oh, and he will go over and start rummaging for the sending stone.
And I'm going to hand him let's see, a pair of letters.
He's gone from hopeful husband to business professional. The military switch is real.
Miss Lauren has definitely done that, like switch on a dime before as well. I'm going to hand him a couple of letters, and I will DM you the document with them.
He gestures to the door for you to lock it.
Okay.
And he will break out the sending stone and begin wiping the sending stone across the documents. You know that this will transmit them back to the Protectorate. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. For those who can't see my window, I just received a massive document.
It's only 8 pages, and like only 2 of them are relevant here.
It's only 8 pages. Understood.
I would expect nothing less from the ambassador.
All right. So
this is like every letter she's written in the campaign.
right.
I mean,
Is in that document.
wouldn't you expect the ambassador to have a thorough record of everything?
Right? So which
All
letters
right.
are important here? 11 and 12?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So,
Like compared to her dossier, which is 21 pages, and her diary, which is 144.
I believe for a fact that this party of players is capable of keeping meta knowledge separate from player knowledge. Is it okay for me to read these aloud?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
They're long, so I don't know if like.
And
So I'm
they're
fine
not
with
that long.
like.
They're not that long. Well, the
Yeah.
second one's kind of longer, but it'll be good.
I mean, if you want to, put the documents, in Discord, that's totally cool. I'm whatever.
All good.
Yeah, I think that.
You want to do it that way? Okay. What we'll do
So,
is we will
yeah.
just go ahead and put these two. I will just grab this text and we will put it in Discord for you guys. Cool.
Actually, we can read like number 11 aloud, just because that one's shorter
Right.
and also like more plot relevant, whereas the other one is just like a pretty dry report.
Right. All good. Cool. So, the first letter to Kellum Rayrek, Elnor Kiroros, and Shalera Johorn, the Tribunal of the Shinoza Protectorate. I have met with Kirkatak, an orc who is wanted for piracy in association with his service in the crew of a Shellian Delice. Katak attests that he was an unwilling member of her crew. Pressed into service after mistaking the ship for a merchant vessel, he managed to escape with information valuable to Delice, frustrating her search for powerful artifacts that she must not be allowed to obtain. He is actively undertaking an effort to confront her and either bring her to justice or neutralize her. Because of this, I recommend that the Protectorate should not interfere with his efforts as long as he is in pursuit of this goal, and should render assistance to him as necessary for the same duration. Further recommend that if he is successful in this endeavor, that his debt to the sea should be considered repaid. I appreciate your consideration of this matter and would be pleased to clarify or provide any further information as necessary. Sincerest regards, Isloran Shonazath, Ambassador of the Shinoza Protectorate. I embellished there a little bit because she would have. Other than that, the second one is a series of dry reports that go through details involving the entirety of the campaign and connections to various forces and factions. So we do not need to go into that one.
Otherwise known as the Legends of Twilight.
The most boring version of them for when Twilight rolls a natural 1, this Legend of Twilight would be told. So, Islaren, as these messages are sent by Rolmus via Sending Stone back to the Tribunal, he will close everything back up and look at you. Well, is there anything else that needs to be done on an official basis?
A smile. No.
He looks at you and raises an eyebrow at the smile. Are there things that need to be done on an unofficial basis?
Yes.
And we'll fade to black. Fair? Or do you want to explore what gets done a little bit? Because I'm not sure if that's what you meant or if you were talking about something else.
I think that was where it was going to go.
That's where it was going to go. Understood. Okay. I'm just trying to meet the players' desires. Not necessarily the characters. Winkle! It's the middle of the night. You're on deck with 4 very attractive sailor women.
Mm,
The lantern
Winkle's-
light glistens across your antlers, and none of them are paying you any mind.
Yep, time to go back.
So,
I'm gonna
you're gonna
I'm gonna head
ditch?
back. Yep, I'm gonna go back to the hotel.
All right. So, Winkle, in the middle of the night, as you depart the ship, you go down the gangplank alone into the Shatter Shaddai night.
Yep, not the brightest thing, but it's fun.
Of course, it's not the brightest thing. It's nighttime. So,
Go walk
Winkle,
along.
can I get a perception check as you are moving through the city alone? Thank you, Winkle, for rolling a 4.
Ooh, not good.
Okay.
What could go wrong? Everything.
What could possibly go wrong? What's the worst that could happen?
Need to keep a hunter's mark just on Winkle.
So, Winkle, as you're walking through the market, your antlers catch on several of the stalls and the pendants that are there. You may not notice because you're so strong that you eventually begin walking along with a train behind you. The trailing ribbons and strings form nearly a parade float as you lumber along through the dark. Clattering of a tin can sounds behind you.
Da, 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 da.
Winkle, you are walking along, and for a moment, everything goes quiet. And even with your low perception, it's too quiet, Winkle. And that's when you feel the pinprick of a needle at the base of your neck.
Oh man.
Gee whiz.
Winkle, you slowly descend to one knee and then face plant into the cobblestones, unconscious.
Well, we know how they got him for sacrifice to begin with.
Well, just kind of laying around.
All right. So, in the morning, we are going to hand the camera back over to Ayla Taylor. Ayla, you're at Ibn Pearl in the suite.
Right.
What have you been doing all night?
Well, after I worked on my cookbook, I went to bed. But usually Bwinkle comes in and says good night, but I haven't seen him. So I'm up trying to see where he is. What happened? What went wrong? Because I know he was going to walk his Lauren over to the ship. But he said he was coming back.
Well, you wake up in the morning and Winkle has not arrived.
I'm going to go and knock on the forbidden door over here.
The
Of
forbidden
at
door?
Twilight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, when they're in there, I don't knock on the door unless it's an emergency. And I'm beginning to feel like this is an emergency. And so I knock on the door.
Okay. Knock, knock,
Knock,
knock.
knock.
Knock,
Wait your
knock.
turn.
Wait your turn.
What?
Excuse me? Excuse me? And then you hear a cacophony of noises where he is being shoved off the bed and he hits the floor. So it's that.
What?
Nobody has no
Oh,
sense of humor in the one.
Covet opens the door with the bed sheets wrapped around her for modesty. He just kind of cracks the door, and she's like, "Yes," with a big smile on her face.
I'm sorry to disturb y'all, but have y'all seen Boinkle this morning?
First off, coffee. Second, Bwinkle's not here.
No, he was going to walk his Lauren over to the ship and come back, but he's not here.
Sure, he had a great time.
What?
Covet looks over her shoulder and just glares at Twilight.
What has he been drinking this morning?
You don't want to know. Okay,
Mooseberry
Mooseberry juice.
dude does not need mooseberry juice. Oh my gosh.
No, I don't know where he is. I can't find him.
Are you sure he didn't come back to his room at all?
I went in there. The bed has not been slept in. You know, nothing has moved in there.
Okay. Give me a few minutes.
And it's Lauren's not here. It's Lauren was going to stay at the ship. She was going to spend some time with Romos, and I don't blame her, but Winkle concerns me.
You didn't go with him?
No, I stayed here to work on my cookbook.
It was your night to watch him.
If he's walking a Lauren back to the ship, he might have tried coming back on his own.
Oh, that's going to go over well.
Yeah, I guess we better go try to find him.
Give us 20 minutes.
She looks at him and it's just like,
look, that'll get me time to get the folks to get some coffee up here. I think we all need it.
More.
No. And with that, she's like, coffee's good. Coffee's very good.
Okay.
To-go cups would be fabulous.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Thank you, Ayla.
And I'll take care of something else.
You ain't touching shit. All right. So
I turn around and walk off at that point in time.
There you.
You hear a muffled yeep, and then get off me!
As the biscuits have been checked.
She goes and literally pushes him and runs to the bathroom with her clothes and closes the door and actually locks it and keeps it locked.
Okay.
Unlocking it quietly.
Cool. So, as she is getting ready for the day, do you dare disturb her, Twilight?
I would
He
say if he
understands that
wanted
he
to
can
live.
only push a non-coffeed Covet so far, and then he'll proceed to get ready for the day.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. In real life, he greets me every morning when I come downstairs with a cup of coffee.
Like a wise man. If only I could make coffee, I would do so for my wife. However, she despises my coffee because it's far too strong.
You need some performance enhancement.
No. The coffee is plenty powerful as it is. So, you guys are able to wake up and head out into the city.
Do we see a I mean, he's really big and tall and has antlers. Do we see damage anywhere? Because, I mean, every now and then I pull a ribbon or a branch off of his, or I don't know, a
You're
rope.
teaching his rack.
Dude, knock it off.
She can't reach that high.
So say, how you get up there?
You're gonna make me say it, aren't you?
Yep. That's one.
No, I think that's Ayla's job.
That's one kind of tree she's climbing.
Covet, you got some explaining to do.
I jump. I jump. I
There's
can't
no
touch
way
it. I
you're
jump.
jumping.
They're hanging down so far she can reach them. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Are we still talking about his rack?
Antlers.
Okay,
The ribbon on his antlers.
understood. So, after 45 minutes of walking around trying to find Winkle, you will find a festooned pile in the center of the market.
Hey guys, look. A festooned pile in the center of the market.
One shot on this ship.
Winkle's been through here. Look at it.
Well, the sign
you-
actually says Winkle was here.
There's not a sign.
Sure it is.
But
It's a
if you
festoon
turn
pile
around-
in the middle of the market.
We'll turn and look at the stalls, and you can see where stuff's been pulled from the top of the stalls in a pattern. And it's like somebody just walking through.
Yep, leads right to this
And then-
pile.
And then here's the pile. So now where's Winkle?
All right, Master Tracker. I mean, shoot. We probably should have let Islari know where we are as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not good. Not good at all.
No, it's not.
Master Tracker, are you going to try to track Winkle and his trail?
Twilight's looking around trying to find who this master tracker is.
Twilight, the ego on Twilight's call is greater than yours. He would absolutely accept the flattery of his wife. I don't care what the player says. In this case, the character would absolutely simply act.
So, Twilight will actually use one of the unique abilities that he has and will activate his Murmurs of Moritas to see if there's things in the marketplace here that talk about a wandering moose.
Just real quick, GM, we got a full rest, correct?
Yes, you guys. Everyone got a long rest except for Winkle, who really doesn't need it, but
No, but still.
unless Twilight and Covet or Slarn wanted to gain a level of exhaustion, that's up to you guys. Okay. So, with Murmurs of Moritas, what exactly are you describing as a person, place, event, or object?
I am describing a tall moose, huge rack, plate armor, big axe, big bow, and very little perception or understanding of the world, haphazardly meandering at all hours of the night in a general direction from a port to a hotel.
Okay. The Murmurs of Moritas come into your mind. Rumor says that a massive dark energy was swelling from the Protectorate ship, invading the dark streets of Shatter Shaddai. As the destructive force managed to go through like the angel of death through the market, he tore at the fronts and backs of the stalls, disgorging the decorations and tearing the facades. As he crawled through, everyone fled from the ferocity of such a beast. They hid in the stalls before the burden upon his antlers pulled him to the ground, where he collapsed and lay dead for the rest of the day. The ruffians pillaged his corpse, taking what they could and scattering into the darkness. He lies there now in the middle of the day for all to see and mock in a massive pile of his debris. Twilight, as these murmurs of Moritas are coming to you, you look at the pile there and you see peeking out from there one large hoof and one moosey snoot.
Ayla, I think underneath all of that conglotany of paraphernalia, you might find your friend.
What? And so Ayla bends over and starts pulling stuff away, and guess what?
You found Bwinkle in the
What's
pile
in-
of stuff.
What in the world has happened?
You notice that he is missing a longsword, a shield. His backpack has been opened and gone through. Winkle, please refresh your character sheet as you have been robbed.
Got it.
So just hit F5.
Okay.
Okay, what do I do?
Okay.
Just go to D&D Beyond and hit F5 on the keyboard. That's all you gotta do.
There's a moose on the loose, and he's wreaking havoc in the market.
Scaramouche to the Fandango. Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. I don't know.
He's there.
Okay. So, Winkle, as you are rolled over, the sun bathes your face now that the decorations are off of it, and you blink awake to see the beautiful cascading red hair of Ayla Taylor backlit by the sun like an angel leaning over you.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, the Master Tracker Extraordinaire presents to you Winkle.
Winkle looks
She
up.
gives him a
Such a
kiss on the
voice.
cheek, says good job.
Thank
Winkle
you.
looks up
Thank
and
you
sees
very
this
much,
beautiful
Twilight.
woman.
Winkle, what did you say?
Winkle looks up and sees this beautiful woman and goes, "Are you an angel?"
Don't you know me?
Oh, hey, Ayla.
Oh my goodness. What
He
happened?
had such opportunity and missed it.
It blew
What
it.
happened?
I heard that through her mic.
You have all day to make up for that later.
Right. So,
What?
what happened, Bwinkle?
I'm not sure. I was walking along, just kind of, and something came up behind me, and I saw all this stuff coming at me. And next thing, I felt a sharp, kind of little stick in my neck. And I went to sleep.
Wait, show me where you felt it.
Ooh, right here, as he points to right below his ear.
And Ayla leans over and looks and removes a small needle.
The needle's not there, but you do see what looks like a popped pimple. Exuding just a little
thought-
bit of that light, nice yellow pus.
Yeah, he's been stuck by something.
For those of you eating right now, I apologize, but this is where we're at.
He's been stuck by something, y'all.
I believe he's been struck by a smooth
A
criminal.
smooth criminal.
Yep.
Oh, that's bad.
You okay? You okay? Are you okay, Moosey? Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you
Moosey?
okay, Moosey?
Moose starts trying to get up.
Can you sit up now?
Well, I think I can. I'm trying to get up on my feet. Hold on. And he starts coming up and then starts falling over on Ayla.
Whoa, 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 big guy. I can't hold you up. Are you all right?
Winkle, are you copping a feel?
Absolutely. I'm stupid, but not that stupid.
Ayla,
Well,
I know.
his intentions
I
are
know.
obvious.
Winkle, you're being way too obvious. Back off.
Okay, I'll sneak around later, like you taught me.
Of it in Twilight, Winkle informs the market that Ayla has taught him how to sneak around later.
Winkle, please be aware of your surroundings. It might pay dividends in the future.
Oh, okay. Covet says that you're really good at this.
It's amazing what happens when you pay attention to detail.
I was trying to pay attention to her tail.
So you're saying that you lack capability. I might be able to provide you some performance enhancements. Would that help you out?
I don't think I need more.
Well, evidently you're not meeting the standard now.
But Covet, where would we be going? As you see Twilight in cahoots with Winkle, which you know for a fact cannot be good.
Covet comes in, pulls kind of pushes them apart and says, "Hey guys, let's go find Miss Lauren. You took her to the ship, right?" She looks pointedly at Winkle.
Oh yeah, she went in the cabin.
I am certain she is fine. However, we have tasks to do.
Oh.
So let's go find Miss Lauren. Though we might want to knock gently.
All right. So you going towards
How
the
much
ship?
of my stuff did I lose? Did they take it out?
Yeah, I already removed it from your character sheet. You don't. We're not going to tell you what you lost because you already lost it.
Oh, bye.
Yep. It's okay. Winkle won't miss it. He doesn't even know it's gone. All right. So you guys head towards the ship. The guards are in place. You are checked for your identification and allowed on board the ship. Miss Lauren, would you be up and about already at 10 a.m.?
Absolutely.
Okay. After all, 7 a.m. is wake up time, right?
Yeah, I mean, like if the sun is up, it's Lauren's up.
Right. So is Rolmos.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah. It's kind of his jam is be up at 7 o'clock. This
Very much not like the player here.
very much not like the player. No. Are you one of these morning sleepers?
I love sleeping in.
I hate it. I can't. Anyway.
I love it. I love it. Just greet me with coffee in the morning.
So, Rolmos is up and about. Miss Lauren and him appear to be just efficient this morning, for lack of a better term.
Lauren, I thought y'all were keeping Winkle on the boat.
It wasn't on the boat?
No. He was in a pile of miscellaneous ribbons, tin cans, streamers, old rugs, rolling paper, and looked like 3-day-old cheese in the middle of the market this morning.
Are you
And
okay?
he got robbed.
Yeah, they said I got robbed, but I don't see what I've lost. Can I ask a
Sorry, I
question?
should have gone back with you.
No. I thought I was going to be followed by the guards. I thought they were following it.
They're following me.
Oh,
Which Covet looks around over the side of the ship.
Yep,
Is my tail still there?
it is.
Yep, they're following me, not you.
Covet, as you looked over the side of the ship, you had to go to the rail to look over the side. When you look back onto the ship, you see Twilight apparently checking for your tail as well.
Covet kind of wiggles her butt a little bit and then continues to look over the edge.
Ayla
Yep.
goes over to Covet and says, "Ooh, that was a cool move. I like that."
Oh, I trust you. Trust me. Yeah. They notice when you do that sort of thing.
Twilight, you are able to keep your hands to yourself, if you choose to. However, the mage hand... Covet, you have been goosed. I don't even need him to tell me what he's doing, but an invisible hand reaches over and gives you a nice little tweet tweet.
Covet turns around very quickly and just kind of raises an eyebrow.
You see
And
Twilight
Twilight,
being
she didn't tell
innocent
us.
over there.
She turns back and goes, uh-huh. Hasn't been innocent since the day he was hatched. So...
You heard it here. Elves are hatched. So,
I'm just saying, in
you've-
real life, we scarred our daughter. This is perfect. Yes.
eh.
It's great.
She just She just started in the room and turned around and walked out again.
We have arrived. Yes.
Hey, and it's still fun 41 years later.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. With that, she continues to look over the railing, and is it the same? Can she tell if it's the same guard or if it's, or if there's like rotations? Probably rotation.
Roll a perception check. So Covet's perception of the guards.
With a 20.
With a 20. As you look at them, you are able to tell the difference in spite of their uniform and the helmets that cover their face. One of them slightly less muscular than the next. They are cycling through on shifts.
Is it 2 or 3 that I've noticed?
You've noticed 6 different guards over the past couple days.
Okay, so she has started naming them. We've got Happy, Sleepy, Grumpy, Doc,
Dopey and Sneezy.
Dopey, Sneezy. Yeah, we've got those.
So, as Covet apparently is going to claim the title of Snow White...
Hey, have you seen my skin? I'm not pale. I'm not pasty. I'm not even what you would call fair. My skin is just, downright white. I have no pigmentation. It is. I get in
Yes,
the sun
you
and,
do.
and I just.
Yes,
what?
you do.
and and she looks and she's like, I've got this raven black hair. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
It's okay. Covet fits the role better than the new actress. Anyway.
Thank
Heard it here.
you. First from GM Eric. Yes.
Just say it's in the title. Anyway. So, you've reconvened the party aboard the ship. Eowyn is still back at the hotel, asleep. Never woke up.
He really wasn't feeling well though, so probably sleep's the best thing that he could do for himself.
Twilight will apply Hunter's Mark to Winkle just so he knows where he's at.
Understood?
Covet stands back and actually takes account of Winkle and is like what
There's
is
one
he
of him.
missing? But it's like, what is he missing?
Roll an
Do we
investigation
really wanna
check
get
if you're
into
going
that
to
now?
fish through his backpack and his person.
Winkle, do you mind if I kind of help you figure out what's been lifted from your person?
I don't know what he has.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. He should have some
Twilight,
sort of plate
because
armor,
she's
he's not
a
blind.
nosy person.
Hello, have you met me?
Remember, she's not the captain.
Right. She's not
I'm
the
not the
captain.
captain.
She's not giving orders. She's just
I'm asking.
micromanaging.
Say you don't mind.
I don't mind. Go ahead. I may even enjoy it.
I love the fact that she
Ayla,
says,
help
say that you
me!"
don't mind.
Hey, look, get your butt over here.
I'm
I'm
coming.
not
I'm
doing this
coming.
alone.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
For the record, that
Twilight's gonna
dynamic.
get pissed off at me.
She did
No,
not say that. last time.
no. We're not glossing over this. The dynamic of say that you don't mind. It's awesome.
Oh my god.
To be
Okay.
fair, he was rummaged through last night.
You, and Ayla's pointing at Winkle. You stand still. You stand right there so we can check your backpack and so we can check and see which of your weapons have been stolen or if any have been stolen and all that kind of jazz. So just stand still.
All right, but which one are you going to check my bag?
I'm not touching anything.
Covet, why don't
You're
you-
on moose duty. Covet can look at the backpack.
That's what I was fixing to say before I was so rudely interrupted.
Look with the
Covet,
comb.
why don't you check the backpack?
I'm checking the backpack. Okay, we're good.
No, as Twinkle T poses for dominance to be checked, you guys can go up and over all of his equipment. The first thing
Ayla's
that
going to go over Winkle with a fine-tooth comb.
No, we don't have time to brush him.
That could be hours.
I'm not brushing him. I just want that crazy moose to figure out what he doesn't have.
Don't ask that question ever.
So are we going from head to toe or toe to head?
No, we
I'm
don't.
looking at
Miss
his
Lauren.
backpack. That's an Ayla problem.
We also don't have 16 bags on board.
For the record, you're never gonna live that down, Ayla. I'm just saying.
It
For the
said
record,
4.
officially it was 4, but it has extended to 16. I heard 200 at one point.
Yeah.
It's the legend of Ayla Taylor.
Yeah, it's Legend of
Moose
Winkle's
Homer extraordinaire.
prolific air growth. Just saying.
Miraculous.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Okay, I'm looking at his bag.
All right,
Looking at
Moose.
his backpack.
Moose,
Yes.
what do you usually carry in terms of weapons?
Got an axe.
Flip to your list. I mean,
Well, I can go ahead and tell you, he's broke. He has no gold.
Gold's gone.
grand. Okay.
I checked for that earlier.
But
So,
it's back if there's any.
Well, you've
He
got.
didn't.
can I get investigation checks from Covet and Ayla? As going from head to toe, the first thing that Winkle is missing is IQ points.
That is wow. Okay, so
Brought to
an
you by
investigation, you said?
Yes, investigation. Awesome. Ayla, he's not missing any more IQ points than normal. But as you guys go
That's good.
down the list here, you guys can find that he is missing a longsword. He's missing all of his coins. He is completely penniless. His backpack was rummaged through. He's lost the leather suit of armor that he had been keeping there. He's lost his mess kit, his water skin, one of his rations, all 3 of his potions of healing. He's lost the horn of blasting.
Oh no.
Yep,
No.
yep. The horn of blasting is missing. The longsword was missing. A dagger is missing. He's missing a grappling hook that he probably didn't even know he had. And I think, oh, he's missing a mirror as well, a small pocket mirror. And a length of rope is missing.
Well, good job, Moose.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that horn of blasting.
Yeah.
Winkle, you have been encouraged by Ayla Taylor that you've done a good job.
Knowing me, I probably thought I never see any sarcasm in anything.
Right.
And I look at her and go, "Thank you, sweetness."
Oh my gosh.
Can I get a persuasion check from Winkle as he attempted to put on the schmaltz? You can't do that, Covet. This is Winkle and Ayla.
They don't see me.
I can see you. All right.
Winkle doesn't do anything.
Apparently, Winkle can't see through his unbrushed eyebrows.
God, that tracks.
It really does.
Quiet.
Doesn't it? It really does, doesn't it?
When fantasy reflects your life.
Sorry if I made you snort your water, GM.
It's carbonated, too.
Daddy.
Yep, got me.
Comet wins for the day. Yay!
Covet wins D&D. Got me to do a snort. It doesn't help that freaking Paul is so high today. But anyway, evil woman.
It's Hazel.
And you knew this when you hired me, so I'm just saying.
So, you have managed to do an inventory of what Winkle has lost and is missing.
Well, you have no coinage, but I think I can cover
Ayla?
you.
You're able to find 2 coins, but that's because you checked the moose, not the backpack.
Yeah. They were in his ears.
That's not where they were.
Oh, no.
Apparently, those coins are made out of brass.
Do what?
I got 2 points.
I can't hear him.
No, they were brass.
Oh.
He's mumbling.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. We're not talking about currency, Mr. Boykle.
No, we're not. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that horn of blasting. Wonder if we'd find it in the market anywhere. Or I wonder if the little guy with, what is it? The guy who was setting up the magic shop. Wonder if he'd have it.
What would you guys like to do?
But I don't think that walking in and scouring everything, just trying to find that one item would do us any justice.
What's the plan? Lauren, what are you doing at the moment? As you see the rest of the party recovering from theft.
Perhaps we can report it to the captain of the guard, who we need to see anyway.
Why do we need to see the captain of the guard other than for Bwinkle?
Well,
You're going to tell the captain of the guard that you had a lone moose that was not being escorted, causing a ruckus, and then got robbed in the middle of the night?
I don't think he was causing a ruckus. I think he was just walking along being Winkle and not noticing that his antlers were picking up all this stuff.
Right, causing a ruckus. Did you see the pile of stuff he was in?
Yeah, but I don't see how he drug a 3-day-old cheese. I think they picked that up and threw it at him.
This is a Lauren decision at the moment. Let's let the woman talk.
We needed to see the captain of the guard because, well, if we're only going to take Neve's testimony as far as Navis goes, then I think that's not nearly enough.
We're getting involved in that?
My thing is this, and go for it. Please continue.
This is what we promised Sadiqa.
Yes, we did.
It is.
We promised an investigation. We investigated. We got an accurate testimony. I think investigation is concluded.
But what do we tell her without making our documentation for us to see the Sultan null and void?
You will hear at this point, all of you, a rising cheer coming from the center of the city outwards. The people of the city begin to cheer in unison. People begin shouting, "Hurrah! Hooray!" They begin shouting in exultation. And you see people beginning to go and get drinks for toasts and celebratory drinks. They stop their business and begin a party.
What in the world?
Covet runs over to the edge because she's nosy. And she's like, "Guard, what's going on?"
The guard speaks up to you. "Fagradin has been slain."
What?
Damn it.
He has.
Wow!
A hero, Ricard of Karth, slew the dragon.
I call bullshit.
What do you call
That
Twilight, it's
is
okay.
great cause for celebration.
Who
That
killed
is
him?
Ricard von
Ricard
Karth of Karth. He's back from the past.
He time traveled?
The guy goes off to drink. They don't know anything about time travel, etc., other than the great hero Ricard von Karth of Karth has returned and slain Vagradant.
This might be something that we need to get information on. I know, as she goes over and just gives the biggest hug to Twilight and says, but don't forget, you have your own dragon still.
Ooh, I need to bring her back.
Not now. You'll sink the
Only
ship.
10 minutes.
It'll sink the ship.
Oh, the ship's fine.
No, and we really don't want the guards here.
They're busy.
No,
It's the perfect opportunity.
no.
It's been
Well,
forever since
you
she's been
have
out and
to
about.
argue about everything.
Yes, I've learned this. We've been married for a long time. Yes. Baby, no, please don't.
But she needs to stretch her wings.
At sea. We're in the harbor. No.
Twilight, in Bourbonian, sea means yes.
Ooh.
No! She looks at him and says, no! Don't you dare! Don't. We don't want any more trouble.
She needs no trouble at all. Serona's perfect.
The guards don't know that.
But I need to introduce her to my... I need to introduce them to my Sharona.
No. And besides, we don't have enough sheep or cattle to feed her.
She's the spirit. I don't think she eats.
You guys will watch as clouds begin to gather over the center of the city.
Uh-oh.
Guys, there's clouds gathering in the center of the city.
Got one job on this ship.
That's not a good sign.
As the clouds begin to coalesce, they begin to form a humanoid shape, a mile tall. They change color into a dashingly handsome hero with pale skin and long black hair. It's a pyrotechnic show as a major illusion is being cast by multiple mages of Ricard von Karth. The crowds of the city celebrate at his vision.
Yep.
Twilight,
I'm
the envy is eating at you.
It's giving him a very stern look right now.
The illusion of Ricard von Karth, performed with a skywrite, smiles and salutes the city of Shatter Shaddai before blowing away in the wind.
Are we still in the anti-magic bubble?
No, that's only the outside ring around the ship.
Oh, no. I don't think I could have reached it anyway. It's all good.
No, it was in the center of the city. All right.
Oh, Baggerdan's dead. It's one less thing that we have to deal with.
Bit of it.
We should find out if Idris still needs us to go to the Dragon's Eye.
Yeah.
If the purpose of the scroll no longer has a purpose, for what purpose does the scroll now possess?
That is a question to ask Idris.
Which scroll are you
Correct.
talking about?
Is the scroll to get?
Scroll.
It's the scroll to go back through a reflective surface, a mirror, which we no longer have. Does anybody have a mirror now?
No, I'm talking about the scroll of signatures.
Yes, that's what I thought you were talking about.
That one, it still
The
holds...
purpose of no longer exists.
I don't know. I don't know. That's definitely something to ask.
Is it a scroll that binds its signatories to confront Baggerdan specifically, or to confront a threat more generally?
I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a history check, not an arcana check.
Okay, please roll your history check.
The history check was to check because she remembers speaking to Leslie about it and that sort of thing. Would she remember if it would change anything?
The treaty was to confront Vagradan, but that's up to you in interpretation. It still has a lot of power, especially Covet. When you think about the fact that, does everybody know? Maybe you could start a rumor. After all, what's a little half-truth? Or a lie to get the power needed? You hear in your head what you expect Leslie to say. You can still use it. They don't need to know. But that's what you expect Leslie to say, not what she's actually said.
The question is that, yeah, there's all this pomp and circumstance, but where's the evidence that Vagradan's actually dead?
Now you're thinking like a Leslie.
This sounds too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, it usually isn't.
People
I
are
would
starting
like to
to
find
set
out.
up buckets for apple bobbing and beginning to start a festival.
I really think we need to look into this.
So I'm going to use Legend Lord on Ricard von Karth of Karth.
Ooh, okay.
We haven't done this in a long time. Oh!
All right, we're gonna do this. All right, give me just a moment because I did not expect this. Cool.
The seeds of doubt have been sown.
There's no doubt here. I know exactly what we're doing. I just have to. I didn't expect us to do that. I need to go get this because this is a setting that we have not seen before in this group. And
Because I now have his visage, I've seen and heard his tale.
right. Okay. Right. I think that's what I needed. Oh, let's go ahead and pull up my archives here and get these ready for you. Sorry for the delay here. I'm just taking 30 seconds here to get the content done for you because you guys asked for stuff that I did not expect. It caught me a little bit off guard, but that's fine.
I think we're good at that.
Oh yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Just I have to adjust sometimes. So, as you cast your legend lore, sir, you get a vision of a far-off place, Twilight's Call. A vision of a city on a coast near a desert. The city stretches for miles. As you look at it, you see no ships at first, and then a few, just a couple. beginning to make their way out of the city. Freshly commissioned, these ships are setting sail for the first time. This is the land of Karth, more recently known as South Cove. You've heard rumors that the city is reclaiming its ancestral title of Karth because the leadership of the city has mysteriously returned after 2,000 years. In a massive challenge against the dominating dictator Regan Fang, Ricard von Karth, the ancient hero of Karth, returned from the dead in order to reclaim his birthright and throne over the city. After a period of time and a public defeat of a fiendish guardian, he claimed rulership of the city of Karth, here on the northern end of Corlin. He instituted his mother as regent while he went off to assist in other activities. He went missing for several months before reappearing at the Battle of Bourbon, where he proved himself a valuable ally to the enigmatic Sweet August Rose. Ricard von Karth is a hero of myth and legend. The statues that were erected to him in the past 1,000 years are greater than 1,000 within the city limits. He is viewed as a folk hero and an idyllic situation, an idyllic presentation of what a man should be. His statues range from helping children, to riding horses into combat, to seducing women. The novels that have been written of Ricard von Karth vary from children's tales to the scandalous. The romantic nature of the vampire lord is well known. His proclivity for solitude makes him a brooding and yet enigmatic figure that women lust after with no hope of actually achieving. His amazing jawline and piercing gaze will chill even the coldest heart. He ruled Karth long ago and will rule it again. Ricard von Karth now sits on top the throne of Karth. Or at least he did. Until a dragon, golden, by the name of Amariarosi, arrived one day at the palace of Karth and took him away to the ancient wastes north of Shu, where he was powerfully led above the ancient form of Vagradan, leaping off the celestial dragon with his sword Star Shatterer in his grasp. He plummeted down upon the ancient dragon and clove the dragon in twain, tearing it from head to tail. The 3-mile-long explosion erupted and destroyed all of Ricard's allies. Even the dragon Amariarosi was annihilated by the eruption. And yet, Ricard von Karth survived and walked out of the ancient wastes and now roams the land of Shu, searching for a way back to his kingdom. And that is the legend of Ricard von Karth.
I don't like him.
You may not
Oop.
like him, love, but nobody ever compares to you. And she gets up on her tiptoes and kisses him on the cheek.
Winkle comes over and looks at Twilight and says, I'm so glad you didn't bring your dragon out. They would have thought it would have been... Yeah, he would have thought it was the dragon he killed.
That's one way to start rumors.
I just want to know where the body is. I haven't seen the body. Haven't seen a scale. Haven't seen a tail. Haven't seen a bone. Where is the body?
You think the creation no longer exists?
No, there's
Yeah.
something left behind.
Miss Lauren, go ahead.
I have an idea. If Ricard
Covet.
von Karth... Oh, go ahead.
Covet, hearing this phrase from Islaren, gets kind of giddy, and only among friends would she do this. She like sidles over to Islaren, yeah, and drums her fingers together, and is like, "Ooh, sounds like fun. What kind of idea, my friend?"
Well, it would be prudent to verify Bagridan's death. I think perhaps Idris might be amenable to altering the mission. If Idris could send us to find Ricard von Karth, and if we could return him here so that he at least does not have to cross the ancient waste to get home, perhaps we could gain favor with him
Nope.
and verify Bagridan's death.
But I like the idea of going to the where.
My love.
We were supposed to investigate.
We are supposed to investigate there, but
If we can bring back
is that
the hero.
necessary anymore?
You don't need to bring me back. I'm already here.
There's not going to be any winning with this guy.
I think we live Ricard von Carthenogen alone, just the way that he is. If he's roaming the desert, perfect. I think we do the investigation as we were challenged to do, and maybe look around the lair a little bit, and then come back. Perfect.
Well, Twilight. You think that someone as ancient as him could have knowledge of what the grove was like in the past and how it could be restored?
No, because I think he is here on the material plane and had nothing to do with the Faerun.
He could have had dealings, run-ins, knowledge firsthand or secondhand, adventures.
Deals.
And by the way, how did he manage to time travel 2,000 years as a human
Oh no,
without
he's
help
Fae.
from Fae?
He's not human.
He's not Fae. He's not human. He's Fae.
He's not Fae.
Okay,
He's
he's
a
Fae.
vampire.
You're right. Right.
I mean, did you see the ears?
Yes, I
Oh.
did. But if he's Fae, he would have knowledge of what happened in the Fae realm.
Is he Fae or is he elf?
Vampire.
Certainly looked elven, but
Maybe an elven thing.
plenty of non-Fae elves out there.
A few. Yes, there are a few. My dad is one of them. But they were not. There are more of them now than there were 2,000 years ago. They were very few and far between back then.
Ricardo was not a part of our crew in charge in any shape, form, or fashion, so we leave Ricardo well enough alone.
I don't think you want to meet him.
Nothing to do with the music.
Oh, yeah, it does.
I mean, I know why I'd want to meet him.
Twilight gives Covet a very pointed look.
She just taps Soulrender.
You telling me that his time has come?
Not saying that his time has come. I'm
That
just
his
saying.
expiration date has occurred?
I'm saying that as.
I like this line of thinking.
Hush. I'm saying that as a vampire, he goes against what is natural with
It goes
what
against the teachings of Ishmael.
MKL.
MKL. I knew that.
Ishmael.
Ishmael's somewhat
MKL.
different, and we're not laughing.
No.
Yes. It goes against the teachings of MKL. However, if someone of that power can give us the backing needed to take back Gentara Grove.
I'm not even entertaining this line of thought.
Why not?
Yeah, why?
I know it is mainly because it goes against MKL. However, we are still already doing such with Nafis. But because of what Neve is, there is not much I can do.
Why would I seek out an individual that removes something that my father had a hand in that I may or may not have been interested in reclaiming for the use of my own legacy?
Was that thing that he removed was the great evil that needed to be cleansed?
Semantics.
And that I thought you wanted a hand in killing.
Which I no longer have the opportunity. I want nothing to do with the man.
He's just mad because he didn't get the opportunity.
He's got to throw his little hissy fit. Okay, all right.
My love, there has to be a better way.
Not that way.
Well, what do you suggest?
We continue doing what we've been doing here.
Like, this is a unique opportunity in a unique situation where we are positioned to gain a lot.
So you had issues with the Bog Witch, but you don't have issues with the 2,000-year-old vampire?
I handled the Bog Witch. And
Witches and vampires are different.
Oh, now we're getting into...
Not to mention, he is a well-respected ruler. Who has allied himself with good, has slain evil.
Sloan, are you telling me that the end justifies the means?
No. In fact, I believe I am doing the opposite, that the means are important. That the actions that Ricard has taken are fundamentally different.
Covet looks at Islarin and say, I may make Faye out of you yet.
So the manipulations of his population, the indulgence of the flesh, the pandering of women are all the actions that you support?
Are you saying that he coerced any of that?
I'm not saying he's not.
What
Because
happened
if
to
he
the
were, then
idea
that
that
changes
somebody
things,
was
but
innocent until proven guilty?
Since when?
I hear you preach that a lot, especially
No.
when Covet gets mad at you.
I'm just waiting for Islarin to acknowledge that the desired end state is worth no matter the path to get to that end state.
I'm categorically not agreeing with that.
Nope, that's not
Then
what
I
you
guess we
said.
leave Ricard right where he's at in the bone waste.
That is not a that is a leap in logic. That one does not follow from the other.
So you're willing to overlook his manipulations, his disappearance for 2,000 years, his panderings of the flesh, and the pursuit of indulgence of loose women and various other things, just because he swings a blade that can kill a 3-mile dragon?
Yes.
Because I feel like that is worth overlooking very many things. I don't understand the question. Like, he,
All I need
if he is willing to, if he is
is
willing
that the end
to
justifies
put
the means.
his if I believed that, then I would be seeking him out no matter what he did, regardless of whether he had slain Vagradan or not.
But you were
It is the
encouraged.
fact that it's the fact that he slew Vagradan that changes what I think of him.
So the end state that he accomplished.
My love, please. I understand what you're saying. I understand what Islarin is saying. Ultimately, as she looks at both, we have a tool here.
What's that, Winkle?
A tool that we can use.
Looks at Winkle again.
And she Covet reaches up and grabs his chin and faces him, makes him face her and look down at her, and says, "We have an opportunity to use political clout that could be used in the future. We have the opportunity to verify that Vagradan himself is gone."
I check him on his legs.
Shush and listen. If we don't take either one of those options, then we are fools.
I'm not saying that we don't go and verify a 3-mile body split in twain, and not saying that we don't go and look at the lair to complete the investigation. I'm
The lair
saying
is
that
not
we
where
have
Vagradan is or
absolutely
was.
nothing to do with Ricardo the carcinogen.
Say that again, Islarin.
The lair is not where Vagradan is or was. It is where he
No.
was intending to be at some point.
And considering
lair
that we ran
is-
into those micro vans out on the ocean, we might want to check for those too.
I think you're a foolish
I've made
man.
my case.
I think you're a foolish man that you do not want to make at least the acquaintance of Ricard von Karth as a
He's got nothing to
future ruler of your own realm, and in seeking his assistance in reacquiring your own realm. As a 2,000-year-old person, he's got to know something.
Yeah,
And I think you're foolish for not seeking out what he knows.
yeah, and all the girls think he's hot. They want to meet him.
I think he's afraid of that.
He couldn't even be, they get that big picture of, but he can't be even as majestic as me.
That's when you realize, Twilight, Winkle's ego may be bigger than yours.
Light has an understanding that there may be some ignorance involved in that.
Oh, no. My ego is I know how big I am. Twilight is the hero I try to follow.
Twilight, you're his hero.
I try, Winkle, I try. So, shall we get back to the tasks at hand?
Yeah, we better.
Let's see what Idris has to say. Now that the rumor of Vagradan that he has been vanquished, he might want us to see for ourselves if he has been.
And of course, none of this idea works if Idris can't or won't send us to find Card or to send us to the ancient waste to view the corpse.
View the
Or whatever
corpse,
may be there.
absolutely. Ricardo can waste in the desert.
My love.
I thought you had more charity in your.
A complication did just occur to me.
Oh?
What if Ricard can't travel through the mirror?
He can't see himself in the mirror.
No reflections.
Still, it is still worth confirming with him what happened, as he's a witness to it.
I'm just surprised that you want to deal with such a fiendish individual.
He's not a fiend, he's a vampire. There's a difference.
But in either case, again, all depends on what Idris says.
I think we should probably head back there next.
I mean, vampires are usually undead evil creatures.
GM, can I roll a history check
Sure.
for Longstrider people?
Okay. What are you trying to figure out? What are you trying to remember?
Is he part of the Longstrider's crews?
With the 10, you have no record of him being part of the Longstriders Consortium.
Okay. Because if he was, that would go totally against what
I am
Covet
informing
or-
you what your 10 got you.
Okay. Ayla rolled as well.
With the 14, Ayla, you have no record of Ricard von Karth being a member of the Longstriders Consortium.
I was hoping because I have a +8 in history.
It's really good. And the 14's really solid.
Yeah, but
I mean, while he may have had some dealings,
If he has the in it goes against everything that my patron.
so leave him be.
But it doesn't mean that I can't get information.
Leave him be.
We
I
get
just
there and
wish-
determine that he is indeed a monster who needs to be stopped. We have options then too.
I think we
But
need
that
to go
is
see
at a
Idris.
time to be
He is-
determined in
he
the
is-
future. That's not something that we can handle now.
I think we
I
need
think
to go see Idris.
I don't think we have enough of the pieces of this puzzle.
Just understand that he removed from the boards something that my father, right, wrong, or indifferent, had a hand in creating.
You think that was a thing that shouldn't have been removed?
Ends justify the means. I think that we hadn't exhausted all options yet for potential reestablishment of control. My father had his faults, but I'm sure he wouldn't have had a hand in this thing if there wasn't a reason for it.
How much of your father do you remember?
I was like 9 or 10 when I left.
Are you sure it was 9 or 10?
Again, that's what I remember.
As a parent, though, so much is hidden, even amongst us Fae.
It was a long time ago.
That it was. That being said, let's go find pieces of this puzzle before we make any decisions.
And let Ricardo's let lie.
Puzzle pieces first. With that, Covet will look at Aslarin and ask, is Romos, in the cabin with the lockbox? I just want to check on the iron flask to make sure that everything's okay.
Yes. Nothing's been disturbed.
Can I just go see for myself? I'll feel better if I can see the flask. Because it has absinthe in it, and I'm trying to fix him.
Certainly.
Oh, you guys go to the captain's cabin, or you can find Rolmos. He's currently working on some charts. You realize that this is busy work for him because the ship's not going anywhere. It's more of him just researching because he has nothing to do. Can I help you?
Good morning, Romos. I was just wondering if I could take a look at the iron flask.
Of course.
It's in the...
And he will go and open it up and show you the iron flask. He doesn't touch it, but he shows it to you there. It looks unchanged.
She picks it up,
Okay.
and she just looks at it and says, Absinthe, I know you are so angry with me right now, but I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to fix the darkness in you. That's not you. Please have patience with me, my little guy.
Covet from within the flask, you can feel a malevolence. Something inside that thing hates you. And it
I'm
wants
sorry,
to get
Abs.
out.
Not yet. In time. I hate keeping you in here, but I have no choice. Time, my little one, time. And she puts it back in there, in the safe.
Okay.
As she stands and turns around, Islaren will see a little tear going down her cheek. Just because she wants Absinthe with her so bad, but it's not safe. It's not safe at all.
Give her a pat on the shoulder, just strong and encouraging one.
I think
fix
we all
him.
miss your little guy.
We'll fix him. Just how we're going to fix him is not going to be fun, and I am not thrilled about how it's going to happen. But it's the only way to restore the balance. She rolls her shoulders back, lifts her head, stands a little taller, and steps out of the cabin with a nod to Almost as a thank you.
He nods. Anytime.
So, unless anybody else has got anything on board, should we head to Idris?
I have nothing to do here, so I think Idris is the next logical step.
Either him or the captain of the guard or Matilda. I'm
Yeah,
fine with any of those options.
any of the above.
Right now, I want to wait on the Nafis situation for right now. I'm not certain what the best course of action is on that one yet. So let's deal with something that I think that we could possibly deal with better at the moment. So that would be Idris, I think. Unless anybody can think of like a reason to go talk to Matilda. I don't want to bother her unless.
Yes, well, that is related to the Nafis situation. After all, Neve told us that Matilda could prove that Nafis made deals with fiends. All we have so far is Neve's testimony, which I think at this point I've made it clear how little I trust her. But Matilda, if she could verify that, I would be much more satisfied.
So, fiends you have issues with, undead you don't.
Right now, the person that
My
I
oath
can
specifically calls out fiends and extraplanar beings. Undead, of course, abhorrent, but capable of good in the case of someone who has ventured out and risked their life to slay a great evil.
Neve is also Twilight. One of us. We'll just come right back. You know this.
There's a difference between an undead vampire walking the plains and a revenant of MKO.
I don't know. Idris, then? I don't want to fight this right now. There's too much.
Idris
No,
said.
she sits down and just waits for the group to make a decision, and will abide by what the group says. I mean, she will sit right where she is. So if that's in the middle of the deck, that's what she's gonna do.
So she flops
Yeah.
squat.
Yeah, I suggested we go see Idris. I think that's the next step.
Very well. So you guys want to depart and go to Idris's mage tower?
Yep.
Cool.
Let's go.
Awesome. So you guys can disembark, go down the gangplank, gain your tail covet as you guys pass through the anti-magic ring, dispelling any disguises that you guys might have, and head off into the city proper. As you do so, you know the path to get to Idris's tower, so it doesn't take you long. You guys can go ahead and arrive. As you do so, we are going to take you into Idris's living room as the guard lets you in, and you guys arrive. You look around, you don't see any sign of the mage.
Turn to Ayla.
So I go to the mirror and write a mirror reflection of, "This is Ayla. We need to see you again."
All right. And as you write that on the mirror, you will hear a voice come from the other mirror across the room as Idris steps out of the mirror. Ah, hello again. I trust you've heard the good news.
You have indeed.
We've heard some news. Whether or not it's true is still to be determined.
Indeed. But it does make sense. As such a grand hero as Ricard von Karth is to be celebrated. And he begins pouring some drinks.
Do you have verification that Vagradan is actually dead?
No. I trust that we could alter the expectations. Simply go and verify this and return, and you'll have earned my trust.
We still do want to go to the lair.
Of course.
During our travels, we've encountered smaller versions of the two-headed dragon and want to make sure that there aren't any resurgence.
Of course. I would like to determine whether this Ricard von Karth is real, though.
What do you know of the sword that he used, or presumably used, to accomplish such a legendary feat?
Star Shatter, isn't
The
it?
Star Shatterer, an ancient weapon, quite famous, and when I was a student, I did a paper on it. It was lost long ago, but originally it was forged from a meteorite made of glass. Its edge so sharp that it could cleave adamantine armor, causing it to act like paper. Critical strikes by this sword left people vulnerable to other attacks. A brutal weapon, yet keen and manageable. Nearly anyone could wield it, but it took great skill. It was said to have been lost long ago during the first death of Vagradan, as a grand hero leapt from a mountaintop to slay the beast. He was killed in the attempt as Vagradan erupted and burst, destroying him and the rest of his party, along with the mountain that he was next to. But the sword survived and is said to reside in a crypt in Garden Soil, the headquarters of the Church of Imkael.
Covet gives a slight snarl.
Not a fan, I see. More of a faithful, I believe.
Indeed.
Well, I can't say that I have any fondness for the Josozai or the rest of the Church of MKL in general. You see, the organization that resides in Garden Soil and spreads its arms throughout Toivoa persecutes our kind, have declared war on Shatter Shaddai, and we actively turn them away should we detect them. We have a kill-on-sight order for any Josozai within the city limits. It is a non-compromising position that protects the citizenry of our city. I hope you understand.
Of course. We do not associate ourselves with the Jososai.
That's comforting to hear. Otherwise, little Ayla and I would have problems with you. Regardless, that is not the case.
Do you have reason to think that Ricard von Karth may not be who he says he is?
Oh, of course, of course. Legends are one thing, stories are another, and reality a third. You see, Ricard von Karth is a legendary person. Many feats are attributed to the man that, frankly, are impossible. He's said to have been in 5 different places at the same time, seducing the Lady of Shadows in Ochakvok while at the same time assaulting Reston. He's said to have been involved in the fight with Vagradan at the first, and ruling a sky island far to the east. These stories cannot all be true. But
What
there is a
magic.
grain of truth to them.
What of time magic? Could it be possible with that?
Potentially. I'm not one very much attributed with chronomancy. So, unfortunately, I'm unable to address this appropriately.
Which sky island was he attributed to?
He was attributed to the Endless Pinnacle. The pinnacle where the great dragon Emeria Rosie resided. Supposedly, he had claimed the gold and wealth of the island for himself. I don't believe that one at all. But
So
it is a story.
the rivals supported each other in going up against Vagradan here recently?
That is what I'm suspicious about. The rumors cannot all be true.
But there is a saying that the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
True! That is a saying. But it's not always accurate. You understand?
You do know
course.
that the friend in that saying beheaded the original guy.
Of course. Who says that he hasn't already? But
I mean, dragons are quite protective of their gold, and if somebody were to infringe on that, I don't know that they would forgive that no matter how many thousands of years have transpired.
so you're basically wanting us to go and confirm that Vagradan is dead and see what we can find out about this Ricard von Karth.
We have
Simply determine if he's alive. If he's real. You could go to Karth itself, I suppose, if he's actually returned. But from what I understand, the stories say that he's roaming the land of Shu in search for a way to return. Who knows? He may not be real. Vagradan may still strike us tomorrow. We have no idea for certain.
the images above the city.
Yes.
Who projected those?
Oh, several students conspired to perform the skywriting. It's a combination of circle casting, skywriting, and a major illusion. They do this for celebrations. They're part of the banner corps, if you understand.
And the image generated was based off of
Statues
visual or
and
statue?
statues and literature, paintings. There are a number of paintings of Ricard von Karth in a wide variety of heroic and frankly fanciful poses. He's quite the subject of the novelists, if you get my meaning. Quite the scandalous field of literature.
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
popular
many
with the
ladies
women,
are
though.
infatuated with him.
Indeed. But from what I understand, the truth is far more monogamous and mundane than reality. You see, the reality of it is Ricard von Karth never married, and apparently had very few romantic flings. You see, he's not a vampire of blood, but of dreams.
Of dreams.
What does that mean?
Is he originally from the material plane, or did he come from some other?
I believe that the stories are that Ricard was born here on the material plane to his mother and father, but the mother was a high priestess of the blood god Mosaba. His father, the ruler of Karth prior to him. They still exist. That much is known. For they hold a residence outside of South Cove, an idyllic oasis in the desert. It's small, and their influence has waned over the years. As far as I know, they only hold influence over this small oasis and nothing beyond it. It's a shame upon them that they would have lost so much power, having once ruled an entire segment of the surface of Toivoa, to now merely managing their home. Their house.
Saba, you say? That's interesting. While Twilight looks at Islaren, it's almost as if he might have been a rival of Rufinus at one time.
A rival? Perhaps. But he's no bard. Rufinus is quite the powerful bard herself. He did have association with another bard by the name of Alara, who I'm certain would have had a very large association with Rufinus.
Alara? You wouldn't happen to know what her surname was?
Unfortunately not. I have no recollection as to what Alara's surname was. However, I am aware that Alara did participate in the overtaking of Bourbon. She has achieved a new moniker as Sister Alara the Twisted, a lich of considerable power in the employ of Don Ricardo Cervantes.
Is that a lich?
Yes, at least lich-like. You see, her face has been replaced by a skull-like mask, and she carries around a walking stick for her decrepit form. She's thousands of years old and generally viewed as a horror to be avoided. Her influence upon the populace is devastating and macabre.
What did you mean when you said that Ricard was a vampire of dreams?
Simply that. There are many types of vampires. Emotional, physical. The blood ones are the most popular because of the novelists, you see. You see, those who drink the blood are viewed as scandalous, and the biting of the neck insinuates sexuality of the romantic nature that vampires in general have a bad connotation with. The Von Karths generally are viewed, as rumor has it, as vampires of dreams. They stand next to a bed and rather than engaging with the sleeper, simply consume their energy and their life force through the expression of emotions at night or when they slumber. Because of this, they are enriched and gain mystical powers, supposedly being able to influence someone's dreams, nightmares, or pleasurable imaginations. They can supposedly appear in one place and disappear with equal ease. Nightmares of dreams or vampires of dreams are mystical creatures to be feared and respected, if they actually exist.
So if he is a vampire of dreams and him being in supposedly in 5 places at once, as you said he was according to rumor, could that be a possibility? Could these dreams be so real that they are?
Interesting. I don't believe so, but someone could be convinced that they were. And someone appropriately powerful could potentially convince another that their dreams are real. After all, can you tell whether you are dreaming now or not?
Twilight, kiss me. Do you have advantage or not?
Unfortunately, I do not.
That was a terrible kiss.
Twilight, you have not convinced Covet that she is awake. If you seek more knowledge of dreams, I would have you visit Archmage Tariq. He is a specialist in the matter. In fact, I believe he's performing a sleep study currently with a variety of subjects. He might even invite you to participate. His sleep studies are educational and self-revealing, but ultimately harmless for the most part.
The point where you say for the most part, that is what concerns me.
How so?
Why? Why add that phrase? Has somebody been injured?
Not physically, but the mental traumas of confusion and self-realization can be taxing upon the mind. Being exposed to your own reality and your own fears can cause sleep loss and general troubling emotional states upon waking. It's important that when you deal with Tariq, that you realize that he is a psychologist, seeking to understand the psyche of the people of Shatter Shaddai. He wishes to understand it so that he can assist in the stability of the city. As the Mage of Dreams, he achieves this by calming the emotions of the city. He enhances dreams of hope and prosperity, thus driving the economy of the city and providing a peaceful city to live in.
Do you think it would be valuable for us to see him before we go seek out Ricard von Karth?
Indeed. Understanding dreams in general would place you in a better footing prior to having to deal with, potentially, if he truly is a vampire of dreams, someone who is supremely powerful in such a topic. I personally would quiver at the thought of facing Ricard von Karth if he truly is a vampire of dreams, a ruler of a city, and, according to the legends, a slayer of a 3-mile-long dragon that has terrorized the countryside for the past several years.
Well,
such a figure should not be underestimated. So understanding dreams may do you very good. Tariq would be my recommendation if you choose to decide to do research prior to departing to investigate Ricard.
Any way that we can get protections from such potential power?
You would have to discuss that with Tariq. This is outside of my purview, you understand.
Then I think that it would behoove us to go speak to Tariq, because if Ricard is in the area, I for sure would not want my dreams messed with.
Indeed.
I don't want to be messed with at all.
Do understand that Tariq will not give you information until you accept his proposal of a sleep study. So, if you choose to work with him, you will have to undergo one of his studies, which means a night of rest within his mage tower. It's comfortably appointed, of course. I've participated in them myself.
So you trust him?
Implicitly. I do not know of another man more trustworthy within Shatter Shaddai than Tariq.
High praise.
Indeed. Save for the Sultan, perhaps. The Sultan indeed has all my trust.
Interesting. Islarin, what say you?
Are you still moving ahead with your infatuation?
Covet steps on his foot.
Ron doesn't even acknowledge Twilight and just says, I think we should go see Tariq.
Tell him that I sent you. He will offer you some delicacies in the form of Turkish delights and peanut butter and chocolate cookies. He makes a special bar that is quite nice. It is infused with a sedative that will ease the transition to sleep. Not magical in any way, but simply a relaxant of natural origins.
I look forward to this encounter.
Well, it was a pleasure to see you again, Ayla. Do take care. And as he leans in, he's going to give you a hug, Ayla. A gentle one. And he whispers to you, watch the Musatar. He has eyes for you.
Oh, I know, Uncle. But thank you.
Of course, do be careful with mooseberries, but if he needs them, here, have some of these. And he will hand you 3 bright blue mooseberries that have been crystallized.
Those I will say for very special occasions. Thank you, Uncle.
Be cautious. For Musatar have a reputation of being, fertile.
Yes, I've heard that also.
I would get your father's approval before moving forward. After all, a princess of the Cariel Isle should be cautious as to who their offspring might be.
Yes, I know that as well, Uncle. We are planning on getting to Cariel Isle as soon as we finish our work here.
Well, do be sure to introduce him to your father. He seems
I
an
will.
honorable creature. We don't always trust the Musatar. After all, being fake creatures and at war with the Moose Chucks, they should be very, very suspicious of their true motives. The Moose Chucks are honorable in their own right.
I am aware of that. But, we'll deal with it as we come to it. But thank you for the warning.
Yes. Has he attempted to perform any maneuvers with you yet?
Oh, he's attempted, but he's not been successful.
I'm very glad. There is a special technique that I have heard of, and if he attempts it, you must be very cautious. It is called the Helimus.
Yes, that I've heard of. And yeah, he tried it once. He got shot down.
Good to hear. After all, I trust that you are cautious and discreet when it comes to such situations.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
You,
Thank
sir,
you, Uncle.
you found a good woman here. Treat her right, or I will cause you to be trapped in the shards of 1,000 mirrors for 1,000 years.
Oh, I would never do anything that would do any harm to her. He saved my life, you know.
He looks at you intently. I'm serious. Guard her as you would your own life. You do. And as he steps away from you, he looks at the rest of the party. Sleep well should you visit Tariq. Otherwise, return here and we will transport you via mirror to the closest reflective surface in the ancient wastes or to Jna-Kuhej, where you choose to go. As always, an honor and a privilege. All right. As he steps through a mirror, you guys are left alone in the room. His reflection disappears as he goes into the mirror.
Tariq?
I'm good for a sleep study.
I'm
You can participate with me, Covet?
I don't think it's us sleeping together.
Well, you might be
What?
together, but you're just sleeping.
Oh, I am always in her dreams, as she is in mine.
Sleep study it is!
Okay.
Sounds good.
Covet made that decision really quick because that was going to get real awkward.
Not for me.
All right. So you guys headed out of here to go back into the city and towards Tariq's place?
Yes.
Awesome. So you depart the Mage Tower into Shatter Shaddai proper, and then towards Tariq's Mage Tower. As you guys arrive, you're going to... I need to find Tariq's Mage Tower. I'm sorry. Where Tariq's... There he is. Alphabetical is awesome, guys. So as you guys go to Tariq's Mage Tower, the tower ahead of you, there's a somberness to it. And anyone who is not a half-elf or elf, meaning only Islarin and Bwinkle, as you approach, you're going to feel a heaviness as your eyes begin to drag downwards. As slumber attempts to take you, I need both of you to roll wisdom saving throws against the sleep magic that is here. So, Winkle, I need a wisdom saving throw, please. Twilight, you are immune to this.
Oh, do I need to do this too?
You are immune to this.
Oh, I'm immune. That's right. Yep. Woohoo!
And I am too.
Yep.
What is it?
And so is Eowyn, who is not here today because the player is ill. But they'll be back next week. All right,
Feeling better, Aowen?
wisdom saving throw, please, Bwinkle. As Islarin, you resist it. Bwinkle face plants into the street, unconscious.
Yeah, that tracks.
If he didn't learn
Yeah,
the first
that
time.
fix.
As Winkle is walking, his footsteps get slower and slower before.
I guess
Twilight begins to pull out a Sharpie.
Don't do it.
Hey,
No.
remember
Okay,
you have
one
to
little
go to
mustache,
sleep,
but that's
too.
it. One little mustache.
Remember, you have to go to sleep too, Twilight.
It's okay. I'm tired.
At this
Good night.
point, the door opens and a man dressed in flowing purple robes comes rushing out. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Excuse me. I will get him awakened immediately. The experiments were going so well. I didn't realize that the aura had extended beyond the tower itself. One moment. And he would come over and produce a stick of what looks like a white mineral and reaches down and opens Winkle's eyeball, which is currently rolled up into the top of his head, and goes, well, it was very effective. My goodness. I didn't realize that the magics worked on such strong creatures. Well, I'm sure this will awaken him. And he places the mineral beneath your nose, Winkle. The smelling salts are pungent and fresh as they course through your arteries and veins. You are awakened with a jolt. The energy and adrenaline that courses through you causes you to bolt upright into the fighting position in front of this man. He looks at you. Friend? A friend. And he holds out the stick of mineral.
That is impressive magics.
Ah, these are not magical. These are mineral. Would you like them? Sample of an experiment that one of my students performed.
Of course, I
It could be
appreciate
useful lately.
It could be useful later.
Yes.
And Covet will take the smelling salts.
They're a chemical compound. Chemist here in town has managed to perfect the process. It's made with talc from up north. But near Mabarid, are you familiar with them? They're quite proficient in the cold magics. It feels like a refreshing breeze on a summer's day. At least that's what I'm told. I don't exactly partake myself.
Your experiments seem to be going well, obviously.
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. My name is Tariq. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you are...
I am Covet, and this is Islarin, whom I think is much more important than I. Islarin?
I'm no more important than any of us here, but I am Islarin, daughter of Denrin and Kolos.
A pleasure to make your acquaintances. Why have you come to my mage town?
Idris sent us to you.
Oh!
That
A pleasant fellow. Pleasant fellow and even a friend, I would say, within the Butt team. After all, the magocracy is a loose friendship, and being associated with him is an honor. For him to have recommended me is a privilege. Really, I look up to the man. He's like a mentor to me.
You stated that you'd be able to potentially help us before we approach this vampire of dreams.
A vampire of dreams? Oh dear. Let's not discuss such things out here in the open. Please, please, please. Will you come inside? I welcome you as my guests. If you have been recommended by Idris, you, of course, are welcome within my home.
Thank you, sir. We do appreciate your hospitality.
You guys, without needing to roll an insight check, know that this guy is kind of naive. He's actively, willingly inviting you in spite of the fact you guys have simply said that you're investigating vampires. This guy's completely on the woohoo side of things. He's not really intuitive. He's more functional and active as opposed to being suspicious of people. He's trusting.
He could have been a Mosatar.
Potentially. So,
I guess we walk inside.
as you guys walk inside, we're going to take you into Tariq's living room to here.
Oh, that's so relaxing. I bet you there's like
Lavender.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
lavender
It smells of
and
lavender.
vanilla.
Oh, I love it.
This place feels so relaxing.
Thank you. I worked very hard. There's a martial art that we are developing here. It's called Shui Feng.
not to be confused with feng shui.
No, that's a better name, though. It makes more sense.
Glad I could help.
Let's set that up on the
Senses.
T-ball and be like, think.
Yo, I'm so
Totally
tired.
a-
I got that home run. Let's go.
You knocked it out of the park.
I did. I'm so proud of me. Yes.
I'm proud of you too.
Oh, do I get a pat on the head?
Here you go.
Yay!
Anyway,
So, how can I be of assistance?
Well, we have two. This is a situation that's twofold.
Very well.
One, we will be going to investigate to see if Vagradan is actually unalived, dead.
Do you believe that he is not? Such a scandal would be terrible.
Truth. However, we cannot go on rumor alone. We must go on fact. You as one who conducts experiments must see the results. Do you not?
Of course. After all, results are only the unexpected. If they're expected, then why experiment? We seek to further our knowledge through trial and error. Discovery and
Exactly.
acceptance of such things is always important. The hypothesis that Vagradan is dead is an intriguing one. How would you determine this for fact, fiction, or otherwise?
Actually going and seeing the body.
That's a terrible
That is
proposition. Why would someone willingly go to the ancient wastes north of Shu?
Because it is to find the results of this experiment. Is he
Braver than I, but bold and to be appreciated. Very well on you. Was Covet correct?
Correct. The second is we know that there is rumor that Ricard of von Karth is actually still roaming the wastes, trying to get back home. That's the rumors. But we have heard that he is a vampire of dreams, and we would like to protect ourselves, if at all possible.
Ricard von Karth, the great hero of Karth, rumored to be the most powerful dream vampire of all time. A horrible creature, if the rumors are to be believed, siphoning the very imagination from people in their sleeps. I believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle. However,
Sounds almost.
you should learn how to manage your own dreams and learn the power of lucid dreaming. Are you familiar with this?
Still having control of your dreams, correct?
Indeed, but only to a modicum. Remaining within the dream, allowing the dream to fulfill itself, but being able to control your side of things, what you do within it. That is the key. Accepting the dream and yet manifesting your will within it.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Indeed.
As Kylie looks at Covet.
Pardon me. Are you certain that his name is not Covet and yours is Twilight Call? After all, he's quite the attractive man.
I am quite certain that my name is Covet and his name is Twilight.
And you are married based off of the rings.
Yes. For a long time now.
I'm still seeking a partner. I haven't found the right man.
Well, when you do, he will be a lucky guy.
I hope so. After all, I can fulfill all his dreams.
She laughs at the joke.
As you patronize him.
Patronize him, but hoping that she is actually laughing with him.
Let's see your performance check, madam. Or deception.
Oh my
your choice.
god, please. You said deception or okay. Either
Or
one is
performance.
good.
Yeah, performance because you're a noble woman, and deception because you're lying through your teeth.
Oh, let's go deception. That's higher.
Okay.
Oh, we're good.
The
We're good.
27, he believes you and will take it as a compliment. So, I appreciate it. There are so many eligible bachelors in town. I think that he's a little bit out of my size range as he looks at Winkle.
Winkle notices and just flexes his muscle.
He quivers a little bit and takes a half step back. But as far as the sleep study goes, it's quite straightforward. We have several bedrooms here. We've actually just escorted a party in for their own sleep study. They are currently undergoing it. If you'd like to participate, we do have other bedrooms available. We have a total of 5 bedrooms available at the moment. You can pair off in whatever ways you choose in order to feel secure and safe. Each bedroom is equipped with an enormous bed, comfortable of furnishings, and the temperature is set to however comfortable you wish to be. There are dressers and arming stands for your clothing, and a bath should you desire to relax prior to the sleep study. Once the sleep study engages, you will need to go to sleep, willingly in the case of the elves here, in order to be affected by the magics. I cannot force you to sleep, although it would be interesting to try. It's a passion project of mine to be able to manifest dreams upon those who are less than willing. We're not there yet. But the idea is for you to explore the dream sequence, determine how the dreams work, and whether the experience is pleasurable or satisfying, insightful to yourselves, etc. Engage with the various dreams that you may experience, and then report to me how they left you after you awaken. Simple enough?
Seems simple.
You'll be
I do
perfectly
have-
safe. You will not be harmed.
I do have one
Of
more
course, madam.
question for you. If we do these dream studies, could we potentially get your approval to see the Sultan?
Of course, of course, of course. No problem whatsoever. Anyone who is willing to undergo my sleep studies obviously places great trust in me, and it's only right for me to return the favor. If you participate through the sleep study and allow me to understand your reasoning behind your experience, fill out my survey, which is quite short, then I will gladly grant you my recommendation as participants in the sleep studies of Shadow Shaddai.
Sounds like we are in accord, and Twilight will reach out his hand to shake it.
He reaches out. A pleasure, as always, and he shakes your hand. So, is there anything you need? Perhaps robes, silken pajamas. We have satin night clothes and slippers. Perhaps a massage. A mani-pedi is very often requested.
Oh, yes.
All of that sounds fantastic. But please include some cheese and wine.
Cheese and wine, of course. Do you have a preference, or should I simply provide you with a variety of soft, hard cheeses with some crackers as well?
A variety, and then let's not forget the chocolate-covered strawberries.
And make sure that you have extra salt for my friend Islaren here.
Oh, the Triton. A pleasure, madam. I'm sorry if we have overridden your voice. I'm not used to such statuesque women coming in to the sleep studies. Normally, the people who come in are of human or elvish descent. What a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure is mine.
You should find the beds still plenty tall for even the large Musatar here. After all, they are made for giants. They are plush enough for a giant to rest upon comfortably, so you should find them firm yet soft enough for each one of your comforts. If you find one too hard or soft, let us know and we can provide you with a different room or pillows or bolsters as necessary.
I think we're ready,
Are
unless
they-
anybody else. Go for it, Islarn. Excuse me. Sorry.
Do you encounter giants often, or are they just made for giants just in case?
He smiles. We have not had a giant participate in the sleep study yet. I like to be prepared in the event that someone should come, because finding a giant bed on short notice would be a difficult task. However, everyone who ever comes here appreciates the enormous beds. It's more fun that way. Couples, in the case of the elves here, find it, they appreciate the vast mileage for romping.
Mileage! I love it! That was totally out of character. That's just hilarious.
The last people who came in here as a married couple stated that a man would have to be a sprinter to catch a wife in his bed.
It's been quite the chase.
Indeed. He was quite the quiet man.
As she steps on his foot. For the record, that's 2 for this session.
Mm-hmm. So, are you ready for your massages? Any other treatments you desire?
I would like the mani-pedi plus a bath.
Very well. Here are the keys for your rooms. You may lock them from the inside so that you will not have any risk of security. I have sensors within the rooms that will allow us to know when you are actually asleep. You will not be observed until then. So he raises an eyebrow to Winkle. Activities you choose to perform within the room will remain private until you fall asleep.
Right, you could use one of those crystallized berries.
No.
You don't know about the crystallized berries, so BAP.
I didn't see them.
No.
No. That was a
They're
secret
in public.
between me and my uncle.
When she was hugging him.
Okay.
Meta knowledge.
Bad Twilight.
Get the pool
On the
noodle.
nose.
The moose
Yes,
looks
Lucy.
and goes and decides, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a bath.
All right. Cool. So you guys are each escorted to various rooms. So, as a question, who's pairing off?
I'm going by
me.
myself.
Ayla's getting her own room. Winkle, I think
Winkle
you've been
pouts.
abandoned.
Rejection.
Winkle is sad.
Winkle is sad.
So forlorn.
Forlorn.
He's going to drag his feet to his own.
Okay, the question is, this is a true question. Okay, are there fur catchers in the tubs? Because otherwise, they're gonna have a plumbing issue because of Winkle.
They don't have indoor plumbing. What they have is a tub that will need to be drained after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gross, but that's a lot of fur.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
A minimum of 5 to 10 bags.
As the callback continues. All right.
Yeah.
So, Islarin, are you going to be joining Winkle or are you going on your own?
Sarn will be going on her own, and she'll be declining most of the treatments other than, like, just a bath.
With the salt scrub?
Yeah, with the salt scrub.
Okay. Covet, are you going alone or are you going to allow Twilight to join you?
I'm going to allow Twilight to join me because this is a sleep study and she has to be as accurate as possible, right?
Absolutely.
Sure. So, we will give you guys your bedrooms. Looking out the window, you can see the distant mountains. You couldn't see mountains from from outside. The window is providing you an illusion of evening in a distant land. The runes on the ceiling and walls indicate that the magics of this room are powerful. As described, you are able to lock the door, but the various servants that come in to provide you with your massages, your mani-pedis, your general pampering and services needed, your hoof polishing for Bwinkle, the salt scrub for Islarin, and the full body spa treatment for Ayla Taylor. Covet and Twilight, there's a couples massage with pedicure and manicure and a hair wash and rinse.
Absolutely.
The plush flannel robes are provided to you to keep you warm and comfortable. You're going to go for satin, sir?
No. Yeah, flannel work.
Flannel works, okay. As the servants depart, the air in the room is very comfortable. You can smell the lavender on the air, the vanilla undertones, with just a hint of cloves. The potpourri
GM, I sent you a note.
Sure. All right. You're going to change the weather? How are
Sure,
you
I'll
changing
send
the
the
weather?
I would assume, and Twilight's making a very bold assumption, that everything in this room is customized to indulge the absolute epiphany of sleep. And for some, that's the white noise of various activities, things, depending on the environment. One of those being a thunderstorm. So his speculation is probably somewhere over by the window would be a dial or something that he could spin to find whatever atmospherics in this sleeping.
Okay. So you go looking for this, and instead of a dial, you're going to find a series of 3 seashells. As you flip one over, you're going to hear rain. Do you wish to flip a second one?
Yes.
As you flip a second one, you're going to begin hearing music.
I put that in there.
You flip a third?
I flipped the second one back over, but then I flipped the third one.
So you flip the third one over. Awesome. Cool. So the third one, where was it? Here it is.
Thank you, GM, for being the most amazing GM ever.
You hear voices.
I turned that one back over and just leave the first one.
Okay. So you just leave the rain going?
Just the rainbow.
All right. So,
How it flops on the bed is completely like taking up as much of the bed as her little body can handle, and just don't touch me, don't talk to me. I am relaxed. We good.
this bed is 20 feet by 20 feet.
And
It's
she takes up
5 feet off the ground. There is a ladder next to it. The mattress is 4 feet thick.
So did you do a swan dive into the bed?
No, I'm just trying to climb the stupid ladder because I'm only 5 feet tall.
Twilight's going to assist Covet into the bed completely.
He climbs up on the bed and like his feet like reaches crouches down. I take his
No,
hand.
he's behind her, assisting.
Pushing my butt up. Okay, that's cool.
As you are lofted into the bed, Covet, you realize that there are 3 duvets here. One for the left, one for the right, and one for the center.
Very European. Gotcha.
All right. So, as you two go about fading to black in your rainy room, you're going to hand the camera over to Ayla Taylor, who has had her treatments. There's a gentle music that has been put on, Ayla, for you in order to ensure that you have a relaxing evening. Do you also
I
climb
like
into the
the
bed?
music. Well, I'm going to go play with the seashells,
Okay.
not knowing what they are, but they're just pretty and I want to see what they are. And I noticed one's turned over.
Yep.
And so I flip it back over
Okay.
and the music stops.
Music stops.
So I take the next shell and I flip it over and I'm hoping, thunder. No. Stop that.
That is the fastest flip over of a shell I've ever seen.
I was kind of hoping for sounds of the seashore, but that definitely wasn't the seashore. Okay. So, well, let's try the third one.
All right. The rain begins to start.
That's good. I like that. A gentle rain. It hits my sleep button.
Okay.
So I leave that and I turn and I go and I climb the ladder up to the bed and do a perfect swan dive into the middle of the bed.
Woof. You don't bounce in this bed. It's more of just the perfect level of being absorbed.
Right. I pulled
Is
the
there a
duvet
theme?
over me and I am out.
All right. So, as you fall unconscious and sleep, Islarin, you've had your salt
Islarin
scrub in a
knows.
bath?
Yep. Soren is used to, if you have a moment to go to sleep, you take that moment. So she just goes right to sleep.
Okay. In the bed?
Yep.
Okay. Understood. It only takes you 2 steps to get up this ladder with your long legs. So, yeah. Very efficient. There's no jealousy there at all.
I took
No,
4.
none whatsoever. Oh, yeah, you only took 4. No, Twilight has to lift my butt.
You had the tush push.
The thing is even if this bed was in real life, I would be the same way.
So, the last camera pans over to Bwinkle. Bwinkle, you've had your hoof polished, your horns waxed, your eyebrows brushed, your tail fluffed.
I'm ready to go to bed because, as my mother who used to speak Welsh would say, was bony knocky bony hemp, and jumped into the bed.
Okay? As you jump into the bed, Bwinkle, this is the first time a bed has accepted you to this degree. Most beds, either you bottom out in or you bounce off of. This one is comfortable and supports your back appropriately while still having enough comfort for your tail.
I am just thinking this is wonderful. Thought to myself, I'll just stay up for a little while, and next you hear is snore.
Moose, 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 moose.
Okay, that tracks.
Moose, 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 moose. And with that, we are going to end for today, and we will do the sleep study next week because we do not have time to get through that today. As always, guys, thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM. There's a ton of amazing ones out there, and I'm always thankful you choose me to be yours. If you know someone who wants to play in one of my games, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about getting either on the waitlist for a campaign slot or getting into one of my one-shots. Speaking of one-shots, I do have that Dark Frost playtest coming up on April 6th. The signups for that are over at gmeric.com under the store, so check that out. Got a ton of fun things coming up for you guys. I'm super excited. Do check out the clip contest. If there's a moment from this session you've enjoyed, toss the clip into or timestamp in the clip contest channel in Discord. You'll be automatically entered to win this half-pound D20 that one of our viewers made. So go ahead and one of our players made. So go ahead and toss those timestamps in there. We'll be doing that drawing in just a couple days. So pop those in there as quickly as possible. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. We will not have the GM Eric hangout tonight because I am doing a private event for a birthday party. So that hangout will not happen tonight. We may do one tomorrow night, but we'll be back tomorrow morning with Beneath Fallen Skies as they're headed towards Asatoro in order to get resupplied for their grand adventure. Take care, everybody. Be safe, and we'll catch you guys later.